We'll go to our forecast here in a second. But first, the Highway Patrol in South Carolina will have an increased presence tomorrow as part of their annual hurricane evacuation exercise.
This is a drill that makes sure state agencies know what to do if a big storm is hitting. So you might see more patrols stationed at major routes from 8 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. Officials tell us regular traffic should not be impacted.
Happening tomorrow as well, our weather impact team will host a hurricane special as they do annually. They'll walk through the predictions for this year, take a look at the devastation from Helene, and explain the science behind these storms. You can catch it on air or streaming on WCNC Plus tomorrow night at 8. I've been also seeing some of the cuts from NOAA could impact certain places. Brad, I know that you guys are watching this very closely as well.
Yeah, we're hopeful that, some of these rehires might help out. Right. And the thing is that the Hurricane Center, for the most part, has been untouched. It's these local offices where the warnings are issued from, like think of Helene, like our local office issued the flood warnings and the products that are local. So those officers are the ones that are really understaffed. And so we're hoping, things will work out. But as we get closer to the season, it's really the time to prepare is now. We're in June. It's officially hurricane season. Even though this is the start of the season, things really ramp up August, September, October. Those 3 months, basically about 80% of the storms happen in those 3 months. So you really want to get prepared now. We're already tracking a low pressure system, and this is kind of typical for early season kind of setups where you get a stalled front over warm water. It's not very strong. And again, this is not necessarily a bad thing. One thing I always like to tell people, tropical systems in their weakened state aren't necessarily a bad thing. They account in some areas 20-25% of the annual rainfall in parts of the southeast. And for areas in drought, like along the coast, this is exactly what the doctor ordered. You don't want a big system. You don't want it to be a massive flood event, but you do want the rain. And this is going to bring rain along the coast for most of tomorrow night into Thursday. And that's really the other part of this. This is not going to wash out the weekend. If you're going to the beach, this thing could be gone by Friday afternoon because it's going to get pushed off to the northeast. In fact, any rain this weekend is going to come from that. That's a cold front that's kicking that system out to sea. Now, we talk about tropical, subtropical. This could be a subtropical system. What's the difference? Well, there are meteorological differences. Tropical systems have warm air near the middle. All the winds are near the middle. No fronts attached to it. Subtropical is kind of a hybrid. Strongest winds are away from the center, kind of like a nor'easter. Cold fronts, warm fronts attached, and it's partly driven by the jet stream and warm water. So it's kind of what we call a hybrid system or a subtropical storm, kind of a regular low pressure system. And you'll see some of the rain from this system late tomorrow into early Thursday morning, but it'll move out really, really quickly and then get dry on the backside. Remember, the backside of these systems wrap in northwest winds, which are typically dry. Now, a lot of buzz on social media and news about the Sahara air layer, the dust. This is completely normal. This happens literally every single year. We always give the nickname, it's a hurricane killer and a sunset enhancer. That's really what these are. This makes for vivid sunsets. And the good news, over water, this actually helps deter hurricanes from forming. But because we're in June, we don't tend to see a lot of storms anyway. So just seeing dust in June is kind of normal and really not a big deal to be moving in. So as we go through the next 24 hours, we'll watch that low pressure system, bringing us the chance for some rain, mainly to our south and southeast. That will be our main rain chance during the week. And then this weekend into early next week, those are your typical scattered afternoon storms, which will be in the forecast really on Saturday and again, maybe even on Monday. Going to be toasty this weekend, though. Temperatures pushing 90 degrees, so it will feel like that first real weekend of summer. Your Guy Roofing 7-day forecast shows the heat cranking up this weekend. Let's go 10 days into the future and see the 80s. We're kind of stuck in that pattern now that we're fully into June.
Thanks for that extended look, Brad.